pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to welcome everyone. Anyone who cares to address the board, public speaks. Prior to calling the roll, we've learned recently that the township has lost a longtime public servant who had put in many years in the zoning arena for our township, Mr. Herb Latchley. Plus, of course, being, I think, born and bred, Herb was a graduate of Northwest High School, so in the community all his life. His calling hours are from 4 to 6 today, so if we can, we'd like to move our meeting along, not to lessen the importance of the dialogue or whatever we have to deal with, so that we may get out in time to pay our respects up at the funeral home. So we're going to try to hold the meeting to an hour at best, and that would give us 25-30 minutes to get in there and pay our respects. So I hope I don't step on anybody's toes here and just bringing that up. We can keep our business straight to the point, and I'll do the best I can. I'm probably the worst at deviating. With that said, call the roll.
Mr. Stevens?
Here.
Mr. Lockhart?
Here.
Mr. Camp?
Here.
Chief Brown?
Here.
Chief Stewart?
Here.
Mr. Sims?
Here.
Mr. Melito?
Here.
Mrs. Simon? Here. Mrs. Lepham?
Thank you. We've been issued the minutes of the November 5th work session with the Stefano Insurance. Any corrections or additions?
I have none, sir.
I was not here.
Oh, I'm sorry, you were absent. Okay, and I have none, so I'll move that we accept the minutes from that insurance meeting as submitted.
Second.
Call roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
And the regular minutes of the November 5th meeting.
I have none, sir.
Any corrections or additions?
None, sir.
Do we have a motion? I have none. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. Call the roll.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Abstain.
Okay, we have the financials, the fiscal officer will present. We review these, we go over these, and she usually gives us the figures now in the meeting. So we don't usually have a lot of discussion on those out here. We're signing and talking about them as we go. So with that said, approval of bills.
Okay, total pending warrants were $90,534.19.
Corrections, additions, comments?
I have none.
None, sir. Motion
Do
to
we have a
approve.
motion to approve the warrants as submitted?
Motion to approve, sir.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Total receipts and balances were $3,106,371.35. Expenditures of $90,534.19, with an ending balance of $3,015,837.16.
Questions, comments on balance and receipts?
Have
Have none.
I don't have any items, so I'll move that we accept the balance and receipts as presented by the fiscal officer.
second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
The following purchase orders, the Ohio EPA, that should be $700. The CPT grant for police, which is training, $4,780. Bureau of Workers' Comp, all departments, $8,978. And Verizon, all departments, $2,500.
Questions on appeals?
None, sir.
Do we have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes. Correspondence.
From the Stark County Engineer, seasonal weight restrictions. The Stark County Engineer is requesting a list of township roads who would like to have legal posting of seasonal weight restrictions. Please submit the list by December 7th.
That's something the road superintendent takes care of, submits. Any questions on those? We'll get them in and then let us know. Correct, sir?
Yes.
Thank you. Additional correspondence?
Okay, from the Department of Commerce, this is a notice that all permits to sell alcoholic beverages in the political subdivision will expire on February 1st, 2019. In order to maintain permit privileges, every permit holder must file a renewal application. If you want to register a valid objection with the Division of Liquor Control and request a hearing, you must pass a resolution that specifies the problems at the liquor permit premise and the legal grounds for objection as set forth in the ORC. And please have these postmarked no later than January 2nd, 2019.
This is something that the police department usually reviews and gives us an okay up or down.
We're not having any problems in any of our liquor establishments.
Okay, so
Nothing for us to really review at this point.
we don't see anything that would be, worth challenging anybody or any of that.
No, sir.
Good shape. Zoning, you don't have any issues with it?
Same, correct.
Fire department?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Other correspondence?
From the Stark County Regional Planning Commission, township appointments to the District 19 Public Works Committee. They want you to appoint Ralph DeCheria and Fred Chesler for Perry Township.
Yeah, I think we handled this, if I'm not mistaken, so that's just.
Okay. And then we also need a motion to approve the renewal of the medical mutual insurance for the full-time employees for 2019.
My understanding is from the work session, we had a modest, raise 3% or something like that?
Yes.
Which we were told by other entities, we did quite well in only having a 3% increase. Evidently, our pool of people fared fairly well, so we are pleased with that. Lester, I don't know if you got to make that meeting, but it was good. It was good news for us. You did make that other one, and we heard anything from 10% increase to 20 and better. So, and Mr. Lockhart and I happen to be in on ours. With no objections, then I'll move that we accept the medical mutual Stefano agency bid for our medical insurance for 2019.
Second. Go ahead. I'll second it.
Call roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Camp? Then we need a motion to approve the renewal of the standard life and accident premium saver.
And that is the backup saver.
Yes.
Again, I have no objections. You gentlemen have any issues?
No, sir.
Hearing
No,
none,
sir.
I'll make the motion that we accept Standard Life as the backup for our medical.
Second. I'll make the motion. Or you made the motion, did you?
Yeah.
I'll second it. I'm sorry.
Any additional discussion? Call roll?
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Okay, and then, I don't know, do we should have a motion to renew the Humana, which is our dental, and the VSP, which is our vision.
And they're both through that, the same agency, aren't they? We'll make the discussion. The Stefanos, I mean, he's handling. it,
Yes,
but that's the
yes.
two providers.
Humana and VSP.
Yes. Do you have any objection to those? Hearing none, I'll move that we accept those also for vision and dental as presented.
Second.
Call roll.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
And then we need to approve the Logic contract for dispatch services for both the fire department and the police department. The fire department for 2019 will be $27,693. And the police department will be $95,222.
We do them separate, we do them one motion.
Separate.
Does that show much of an increase? I did run the numbers myself.
That's the only,
No, it's based on population. I think ours might have went up a couple dollars, but the rate per person did not change.
Okay, and chief?
Yeah, they didn't do anything.
Okay, you guys are the ones that have to deal with it and know whether we're in the ballpark on what we're getting for our money, so.
Yes.
If you're okay with that and if it's based on population, that's something that could fluctuate, so. Hearing that, do we have a move to approve Logic for 2019 dispatch service for police and fire?
Are you doing
I
it
think we
separate?
need to do them separate.
Oh, you said separate? Excuse
Yes.
me. For police
I'll
department.
do it, please.
All right, you made the motion.
Yes, sir.
I'll second that. Excuse me, you did say separate. Call the roll.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
And then for fire department,
I'll make that motion to approve for the fire department.
and I will second that. the roll?
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Campbell?
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, I gave her my copy, Cindy, to sign, I brought one up also.
Okay.
Please don't. Burn.
Okay.
As long as we get one sign, it's okay.
Wow, is it me or is it you?
Yeah, it's hot.
Okay, all of a sudden, man, I'm feeling the heat. I'm feeling the heat. I don't know, them guys are ganging up on me back here in the corner. I'm feeling the heat.
Sorry, Chief, you're
The
gonna get
audience
you in
was
trouble.
complaining it was cold, so I turned it up a little
Yeah.
bit.
The audience.
Now they're all warm. This is the chief lead.
Oh, baby. Bless your heart, I'm glad somebody else is feeling it.
Constituents were cold, so like.
You turned up the temperature.
Turn the heat up.
Okay.
The
Yes.
last thing I have is a request for a work session before next meeting to go over the budget at 3:30. That would be December 3rd,
At,
3:30.
that'll work. Gentlemen, you okay with that? Budget?
Yes.
Finalize that?
Yes.
3:30? I'll make that motion for budget hearing at 3:30, before our regular meeting on December 3rd.
Second.
Call?
Mr. Camp? Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
That's all I have.
Okay, we will move on then to Township Trustees. Actually had a quiet, peaceful couple weeks, not that phone calls aren't welcome, but everything's been kind of quiet in my neighborhood, so I'll move to Mr. Walker if I think of anything or find my notes, I'll bring it up. Mr. Walker?
That's the same with me, and I'll move to Mr. Kemp. If there's something I need to bring up with the other departments, I will.
Okay, I'm looking for, I have about 5 to 6 right now, I'm looking for people for 2 meetings starting in January. Do you know the date for January 1st meeting? Do we have that? Second, if that's possible, after that meeting to have a committee meeting for home rule that we put on the ballot. Anybody that would wanna be on that, contact me. In other words, there'll be 2 nights at the most, so you don't have to worry about a long drawn out meeting, it'll be to vote to put it on the ballot or not by that committee. So, if anybody's interested, let me know. I think I got about 4 or 5, I'm trying to get one from each area at least. Because odd names on there, just so we get that decided if we wanna put it on the ballot or not. The other thing I had, the guy on Penford, I talked to his sister about that ditch problem, and I think we have that kinda worked out. So,
Okay.
as far as I know. I'm supposed to bring one check, that'll probably do it, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Camp. Fire Department.
I have nothing, sir.
Okay, North Lawrence.
We've got nothing.
Other than, we just received our brand new 2018 ambulance. We were able to purchase that with some set aside funds for capital improvement. We had an ambulance that we purchased 7 years ago for $20,000 and we're able to sell it for $15,000. And we used that money as a down payment with a small loan to purchase a 2018 Lifeline ambulance. So it will be lettered and we'll try to bring it to one of the meetings once it's in service and ready to go, so you all can take a look at it.
Very good. It's good to hear. How's your bridge work going down there?
It's done,
Done.
it's open, and it's nice. It is very nice.
That company really puts out they don't mess around.
No.
Blackwater, I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, they did a really good job.
And you say yours is a 2018?
Yep, it's a 2018 Lifeline.
Very
It's a remount, so it was originally on another chassis. They remounted it onto the chassis that we purchased, and it's pretty much like brand new ambulance. Chassis is new, the box has been refurbished, so.
Very good. Any additional comments or opinions?
Well, since it's being recorded bingos on Friday and Sundays, so come on out and support us.
Commercial free.
Commercial free, you got it.
Thank you.
Yep.
Police department.
Just 2 things this evening. The first, I had submitted a 2-week request for the last meeting for some trainings for Sergeant Henson. So I'd like approval to send him to 2 trainings, the first being a death investigation, cost is $550, and the second is an internet investigation 1 training, which is $400. So total cost $950.
Are these all local then?
They're in Richfield, so it's put on by, the police association.
I'll make that motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion or death investigation and internet? Okay, total $990. Motion's been made, seconded. Call roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Thank you. Second issue I have, or want to bring up, is we sold 2 cruisers at Skipco auction on November 10th. Both cruisers sold for $1,100 each. We do have $125 per car we can pay as a seller fee, so cost back to the township. The proceeds was $975 per car, and $1,950. Quick approval to accept those, the sale of those 2 cars.
Make a motion to accept the $975 for the sale of 2 cars. Oh, times 2, $1,950.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Any additional discussion? Call roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Okay.
Oh, one more thing, sorry. Cindy, do you want me to take care of this with,
Yes.
with Mark? Okay.
Is that all you need, David?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Road Department.
Have a few things, sir, thank you. I would like to send a letter to the Stark County Commissioners, thanking them for the help and assistance with the engineer's office on some culvert replacements and culvert installations on some of the projects we've been working on this year, and also to thank them for the assistance of Gary Connor in helping us, get the ditches cleaned, off-road ditches, and also working on several of the projects over the last few years in the allotments, the off-road drainage.
So you're looking at sending a letter to the engineer, Keith Bennett,
No, to the commissioners,
you said commissioners, excuse me, but you're recognizing
the engineer's
the
office.
engineer's office in general,
And
Gary
Connor.
in particular.
Yes.
I know we have had the good fortune of having some collective
They've done a
projects
lot
done
for us.
by the county and our people that we would not have been able to do.
They do surveying, they do a lot of stuff for us.
Yeah, they
We ask them.
seem to have been very helpful in that. Of course, we spent some money on some projects that we would have, again, never been able to do, so I don't have any problem with that. Gentlemen?
I'll make that motion to send a letter to the Stark County Commissioners.
And that's something that you'll get with,
Yes,
your
I
letter
will.
writers for
Yes,
content
yes, I
or
will.
whatever. Okay, I'll second that. Call roll?
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Second thing I have is, we have 4 trucks that we need tires on. One dump truck needs all 6 tires. That is $1,762. The second truck, we need front steer tires. We're at $706 for the 2 front tires. And the 1 tons I'm still getting prices on. We just need front tires on the F-350 and the F-550, the black truck. And Chief Brown's checking on prices on those tires, where he gets them from, and then Costco's will mount those for us. So what I'm looking for is approval for $2,468 for tires.
Have you talked to the fiscal officer?
Yes,
And the money's there?
somewhere.
That was weak. You make it sound like it's a wish list.
Pretty
Well,
sure
no.
it was there, we had to.
If the money, I mean, you don't wanna be
Yes.
running around with bad tires.
No.
It's close.
Yeah, we don't wanna be running around with bad tires.
No,
That's
so-
safe. I just wanted to make sure that,
Yes.
Cindy
I've-
has asked with that request. and
I've
we know
spoken with her a
what's
couple times.
Very good. Okay, $2,468 for tires.
Yes.
Gentlemen, any issues with that? I'll move that we approve that expenditure for tires for the trucks that were listed there by the road superintendent. Do we have a second?
Second.
In fact, I gotta put in there in the amount not to exceed $2,468.
$2,500.
$2,468. The extra $32 is not gonna get in there.
That's fine.
$2,500. You convinced me. Gosh, I'm soft tonight.
I hate to miss a valve stem or something.
Yes,
For-
sir, I'm
For
hearing you.
$4 and.
Don't push your luck, sir. Call the roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
Yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Other items, sir.
Yes, next thing, I would like to hire two, part-time, employees for the winter for plowing snow when we have to plow. That'll be for the 1 tons, to put in the 1 tons. The first one would be Jeremy Rohr, and the second one is Brandon Seifert,
What is this for again?
plowing snow in the winter.
So you're just gonna, if we approve this,
If
you're just
they're-
gonna have those two parties available if needed.
If needed, to call them in if we get a lot of snow and need help plowing.
This is just for the winter.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
seasonal.
Yep,
As
seasonal.
backup to keep all the trucks in case we get storms, get rid of the storm. And both these people have been checked out, they have CDLs and things you need.
Wait, we have.
Jeremy has a CDL, Brandon does not, he has a regular driver's license, but he can drive the 1 ton with the plow,
We have
plow
to
snow.
have,
We want
I need to get,
drug screen and,
yeah,
do we need to do that on both?
I think so.
Okay,
yeah, people have left us and come back, we don't.
the drug screen and background check,
even
that's
though,
fine.
we
I just
have-
wanna make sure and see.
How about the motion tonight to be then to have that done? And next meeting we hire.
Pending the,
We can do that,
Yeah.
that's fine if you wanna do that,
Yeah, pending the passing that.
that's fine, we can do that.
Yeah, very good,
We have
That
to
sounds
get
good.
that done.
very good.
No, that sounds good, that's fine.
And that's to protect them and us.
Yes.
Okay, we'll do it that way. Good point, sir. Thank you. Other items?
That's all I have, thank you.
Oh, motion to approve the drug screening test and background for Jeremy Ward, the other gentleman?
Brandon Seifert.
Brandon Seifert, do we have a second?
second,
Call the roll.
Mr. Lockhart?
yes.
Mr. Stevens?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Thank
That's
you.
all I have. Thank you.
Guys, for that. Okay, zoning.
Thanks, Mike. Just quickly, the trustees and the zoning department have been working on 3 separate properties, locations. Unfortunately, there's been really no change. So, remember the one gentleman who was in here one day? He was supposed to do that thing in 2 weeks or whatever. Well, I think this will be week 4. Nothing has been done. And so what I think the most effective way to proceed with this would be to, the next time Mr. Matthews is going to visit us, I think what I would like to do is, at that time, I would have an executive session, and it looks like it's gonna take some legal issues to resolve them, that's what it looks like to me. So, other than that, I don't have anything. And I'll prepare some information and documentation, and then hopefully coordinate that with Mr. Matthews, and then we can proceed from there. But not really, the parties want to do it, but there are circumstances there that, which are always financial, so that's all I have. Unless you have some questions,
I think
which I'm hoping you don't. No, I'm
Until
just kidding.
Mr. Matthews gets a chance to wrangle
Okay.
with us, that's good.
All right. And that's
Thank
all
you.
I have.
I do have one item that, after looking down the line there, come to mind. I did have 2 residents call me, actually one called me, the other one caught me in the grocery store. And I explained to him that it isn't our road, but I also explained to him that we bring it up at the meeting, I would. Jones, hauling out on Erie.
I got the same.
Mud, being taken out onto the road and becoming a quagmire and a mess and very slippery. I explained to him that, thank you for pointing that out, and yes, that would be a concern, that it is a county road. But I did indicate, and I'm looking at our chief to ask his opinion also. You know those people, you've been down there, they've helped us out before with rerouting trucks and such. Would you find it to be okay if you stop down and ask them if they could be a little more conscientious about hauling all that mud and debris out onto the road after they've dumped there?
Yeah, I can do that.
And, I think, I don't have any reason for myself not going either, but I know you've already developed a dialogue with that other situation we had. And from the safety standpoint of people possibly hitting that muddy stuff and maybe getting in an accident, because it was pretty built up there a couple times we make them aware and ask them if they can do something to prohibit at least the amount I've seen on there a couple times, and obviously other folks have too. Does that sound all right?
Yeah, I can talk to them.
I don't think Jones, that's not Jones hauling that one, is it? I think that's another trucking company bringing it from.
There's several companies. I've been in, contact with the sheriff's department because they're spilling that stuff along our roads.
Oh,
And
okay.
they pulled them over for overweight and,
I didn't.
some
know-
other stuff. Yeah,
I didn't know
they're
that some
spilling the
stuff's been
stuff.
on,
It's-
falling on the road, so
Yes,
that
yes.
ties it together. Well, maybe the chief stopping down there also, just as a reminder about coming out of there, and that way we'll, at least make them aware we're conscientious of it, and we would hope it would be improved.
I'll find out, I can let you know next meeting.
Thank you. Any other comments about that? 'Cause you
I
seem
just
to be-
wanted to, it isn't Jones, it's Jones's property.
No, thank you.
but
I
it's
meant,
not
yeah,
Jones's.
coming off of Jones' property.
Yeah.
I guess I framed it that it's their trucks, but
Yeah, I
whatever.
don't think it is.
It's coming off of their property, and
Yeah.
so if they can pay attention to it along with the trucking company, I'm sure, chief will, pass it along in a proper manner. Public speaks.
Just me.
Hey, just me.
Do we have time?
Well, we've got a half an hour,
Well,
and,
you have to decide.
I don't know how long your subject will take, but
Well, I'm gonna take 45 minutes.
all right, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll give you the half hour, 45 minutes. If we run over, we'll have to continue the next meeting.
It's a generic, so it could wait.
Thank you for that.
Okay,
I
so
know,
it could
I know
wait.
who you are, but just state it so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
on
so
the
we'll have it
record.
on.
And I will speak loudly
Okay.
And softly.
and softly, okay? My name is Marlene Becker, and I'm from 12715 Wygant Road, Canal Fulton, Ohio, 44614,
Thank you.
the United States of America.
There you go.
Okay. I wanted to ask you about, I think perhaps you're talking about the road mess. Is that down here on Butterbridge and Erie?
Yes.
Could you just tell me what that is down there? All that ripping up the soil, dumping in stuff? I thought you would be the people to ask.
Somebody said it's cuttings from an oil well.
This right now is, being handled by
I
Star
can't hear,
Soil.
well, forgive me, I can't hear you folks, even sitting there, and part of that's my problem,
Oh,
but you're
no,
all
well,
muttering in your beards.
okay, she's speaking softly, you
Pardon me,
speak loudly.
Sandy.
So,
We can do that.
go, sir.
That is, being handled by Stark Soil and Water and also
Ohio EPA.
Ohio EPA right now. They're involved in that
You mean involved because they don't like it?
because of the dumping there, yes.
Okay, because, is that Lawrence Township?
Correct.
Yes, it is.
How did they ever get down there?
That's the question, nobody knows.
Well, they better hurry because, as you saw, they're expanding rapidly. Someone who lives very close said they saw more than concrete and other things going in there. Should I ask that person to say that to you publicly?
Yeah.
I can't speak for them because that's not the way you do public things. Okay, but that's a wretched mess. I just wondered if you all were in charge of that. How could they start something like that in a township when we're supposed to be in charge of our properties?
Well, one thing that, to start out, at least what my take is, when they came to us to talk about what they were gonna do and having to roll off business and the property they were considering purchasing, industrial,
Correct.
and that unfortunately covers a whole gamut of what you can do.
Yeah,
But the lady that approached us is an elected official in New Franklin. And after her presenting to us and coming to us and making us aware of what they were gonna attempt to do on that property, my take was, I can't speak for my colleagues, but they're right here beside me, was that, okay, you wanna open or be open to business, new business to generate revenue and whatnot. And when the operation started out, just as that hauling of the containers, okay, looked like a quiet operation,
Yeah, it
a
did.
whatever operation. Now, to fast forward, as time has gone by, some of the dumping has started. I did get a call from a resident who was concerned about the concrete. And I said, well, only thing I know is they're being monitored. However, their concern was not the look of it, the chunks of concrete or whatever, it's what it's gonna do to the topography and the runoff on their land, it still borders. I said, well, that's why it's being looked at and monitored, but the party that happened to ask me the question, which is fine, was the party that sold the property. And I said, well, we'll all watch it. Now, fast forward to where we are now, you said the EPA's involved, you said soil and water. How it got this far, I make no excuses, it got this far. But they are now dealing with it. So, I'm not sure where it'll go. Maybe our zoning, person can talk more specific, or anybody at the table. I don't wanna take the whole, time. But, it certainly is an area to be concerned about.
Well, it's rapidly advancing. I mean, they're pushing, they're not even doing a good job of pushing topsoil back. Have you noticed? It's gonna be very superficial.
Yeah,
And they're escalating acres quickly.
and this is not, please, an excuse, because I don't want to, but thinking that this person that presented us with this plan and idea, and they were gonna expand, we knew that. Elected official would have the wherewithal that
Mhm.
you operate under the guidance and under the auspice of all the rules. So, I'm not pointing fingers, I'll shoulder as much of the responsibility as anybody up here that it's gotten where it's gotten, and it shouldn't probably. So, we gotta get on it.
Well, EPA will move like a turtle and then,
It depends on what it is. I don't disagree, but, soil and water has been aggressive and a lot of help to us out here. So,
Yeah, this is-
he has to deal with them more than I do.
Yeah, this is through, what is it, Chief Brown, ODNR, and the Army Corps, and a few other
well, they
places.
sound impressive,
And it's
but they're
coming
moving
from,
pretty fast
well,
over
they're-
there.
Well, the problem is,
They just got involved a week and a half ago,
Oh,
so.
whoopee.
yeah, we've just got.
The
got
horses
hold
have been out of the
people.
barn for a while. You're
Yeah.
absolutely right.
Yeah, because and I'm not just scolding you, but I'm just concerned because it's rapid.
No,
Oh, no, you're,
Marlene, I don't look at it as a scolding.
No, I'm not.
I thank you for being here and
That really
voicing.
concerns me, because that's a bunch of crap and they're not even moving the topsoil to hide it. They're obviously very comfortable doing what they're doing, and that back is growing rapidly, and the person who told me this, it wouldn't do you any good for that person to come here and tell you what they saw, would it? Nobody cares.
Well, at
You
this
know?
point.
No, I mean, you care, but I mean that little bit of garbage.
What we would do, if somebody would come, we would send them, we will get reports from those two agencies.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I don't know if they would send it to Jim or the trustees, I'm not sure
Well,
how.
what should I do, organize a picket out in the highway?
No,
They should
no,
contact
let them-
Stark Soil and Water.
Then
They're-
you come, then chief will come and get me.
We'll just take you home, we know where you live.
What?
We'll just take you home.
You can even ride in the back of the cruiser.
They should call Stork Soil and Water and talk to them, because they're the ones trying to coordinate with the Ohio
Who
EPA.
should call them?
This person, and let them know
Whoever you're
what
talking about.
you're, the person who's telling you what's back there, have them call Stark Soil and Water, let them know what's going on, and they'll forward that information to the EPA.
Is Stark Soil and Water involved?
Yes.
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
Jim, is it Rich?
it's
Okay.
Rich
Is there
Rubbish.
anything any of us common peons can do?
Call.
Absolutely,
Well,
call.
I think you've just
What?
done
Call.
a due diligence and.
Call them,
in the
call them,
meeting.
ask to speak to Rich Rowe.
Yeah, call. I'll
Rich
give you a phone
Rowe.
number.
We'll get you a name and number.
I got the number and names.
Okay.
Did they ever put a skirt around it? I never seen it.
No, there's,
No, filter skirt or nothing?
Beg your pardon?
There's always supposed to put a barrier.
like a
around it.
silk fence around it.
Silk fence around it.
There's nothing around it to contain it, I mean, it's
They look
just,
like, in my interpretation, very comfortable and they're aggressive right now. It's
Mhm.
getting, I've watched, it's getting worse and worse. They're zoned industrial. In other words, they're zoned garbage.
I can't, Frank?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I,
But not unsafe, not
yeah,
environmentally unsafe.
they're zoned garbage. Right.
And again,
I don't think it says that in the thing, Marlene, but,
Yeah, but we common people would say that.
no.
It's trash.
No, we wouldn't say that, it's industrial.
Yeah, it's industrial.
Okay,
Marlene,
it's
what-
non-organic trash.
Oh, you mean what they're dumping?
Yeah,
Oh, well, that's different, so.
okay.
That's why these professionals will look into it and tell us what they are
Okay.
dumping.
And again, seriously, thanking you for, you bringing it, we were aware of it. The other factor that bothers me, we went to them for, another issue, and when I brought it up, that they were very cooperative with in helping us out on rerouting trucks. They were going through some areas that, we couldn't have stopped them, by the way, but they did cooperate dealing with them through the chief and that, they were very,
They
accommodating.
will.
Well, all I'm saying is they were. Now, this
You know,
here
move ahead
happening,
rapidly.
this is not good,
No.
and, we will address it. We have the two agencies that can enforce it, and don't worry about the time on this, we got time. The two agencies that can enforce it are on it, so that's a good thing. But the horse, as I said, is already out, and the horse is plural, so
The other thing.
we gotta deal with it from here forward.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, I don't understand annexation of Lawrence Township, property. I tried to read everything, that you put out, a little bit in the paper and things. How does Canal Fulton keep annexing our land? Do we allow that? Do we object to that? 120 some acres they want, how in the heck does that happen?
You're talking about the most recent?
Yes.
Most of that
What are
was,
you laughing about?
owned by the railroad, the county. I don't believe, and I'm gonna defer in a minute, because I'm not gonna put him on the hot seat, but I will. The mayor walked in.
That's why I'm here.
I don't care.
Well, no, and he doesn't either, understand,
Yeah.
but most of that was under that umbrella, am I correct, Mayor?
Yeah, Stark Park, I
And,
saw
and,
that.
and nothing we can do about it, plus the type of annexation that it was, because there's different types of annexation. I can only tell you this, I'm as concerned about losing property as the next person. And as one of your representatives, which you people have gratefully elected me many times, but one thing I truly believe in is that we try to do all we can to keep what we have, but the cities also need to survive and grow. If a property owner that's adjacent to the city decides they wanna come in, there's nothing really we can do about it, and that's
Understand that.
property rights.
Yeah,
We have challenged a few, and I think over the years, we've won a few, we've neutralized a few, and we've lost some. But I don't think, and this is me talking, disagree, my colleague, I don't think Canal Fulton is purposely doing anything to lessen Lawrence Township's existence. I don't think that. I don't think they want to be Lawrence Township. I don't think that. We're gonna stay Lawrence Township. When they annex for a reason, and they do have some agenda, and that's okay. I think we are kind of aware of what the agenda might be, but this is their right to do what they're doing. So I'm just kind of gonna flip back to Mayor Schultz that just walked in. It was a type 2 annexation, and they had the proper parties involved that wanted to come in. I believe the railroad did challenge it, remember I told you?
Yeah, and we didn't find anything.
Last meeting, we
Yeah.
were talking about that, and I
I
did
reached
get
out
a
to the law
document from
director.
well, our attorney gave it to us,
Yeah.
from Conrail,
No, what is it?
Corman, that challenged, but evidently, the annexation was properly done, and it was.
was it type 2?
Yeah, it was a type 2,
I believe so.
yeah.
So that was more of a public,
Yeah, you don't,
Rather than
yeah,
Lawrence
rather, it was a expedited,
yeah.
it's type expedited,
Expedited.
yeah.
Mhm.
So,
We don't have no say.
but, that's my explanation, if you care to ask the mayor a question or so, I'm not trying to put
We
him on the
shared,
spot. but-
we shared sewers, we shared dog poop places, we shared, once we almost shared casino. And
Well-
I just wondered, some of those were different, I know, okay, but I just wondered how that happened.
Well, understand, overall, at least the years I've been on this board, which have been a many, thanks to the voters, we overall, and I'll point to the gentleman over here to the right of me, those two, and the other gentleman to the left of me, and probably zoning in somewhat fashion, but then us three. Overall, our cooperation in working with the city has been overall good. Yes, there's been bump spots, bumps in the road and all that, but their road department assists us when we need it. We assist them when they need it. Police, am I right there, fire? So, all of that is good. And I think, Mayor, am I speaking correctly?
I don't think
That's
the same
all good.
thing.
We're all gonna butt heads, I guess that's what you get in certain positions. But overall, these guys are making it happen, and I don't wanna muddy the waters anymore than needed, but I will protect, when needed, the township. So I appreciate you asking the question, and that does come up, but that type 2 annex, and the land that they got, canal lands and some railroad and that, they're putting their tentacles out there for a reason, and that's okay, but we're watching.
Well, I need to remind you, if anybody asks me my address, I'll say 1271 White Street, Canal Fulton, Ohio.
That's as far as it goes, Canal
Yeah,
Fulton,
but-
Ohio.
but-
You're still in Lawrence Township.
Yes, I am, but I still say Canal Fulton.
Yeah, we got their zip code, and that's fine.
You know, I still am.
They sit in the middle of our township, pretty much in the middle, so
So-
we're surrounding them, and if they get too out of hand, we'll just
Only when.
put the
when I-
squeeze.
Yeah. I think the gambling thing started to sensitize me a little bit, but I still consider myself from Canal Fulton.
There you go.
That's the way it is.
Okay.
Okay, thank
Anything
you.
else, Nick?
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. Mayor, you walked in, we'll give you a last call, and save the best for last.
Wow, thanks.
Providing it's brief, because we gotta get to see Mr. Blatchley.
Okay,
Sure,
yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay, just wanted to touch base on the fire department, where we're at, you know, with the passage of your levies and, our living together arrangement, you know, it's not a marriage, it's a living together arrangement, so I didn't know what the plans were, if you have any thoughts about, are you breaking up with us, or, should we?
That's a lot. I'm gonna defer to the chief. I have my own ideas and thoughts, but my relationship record is good, so I'm gonna keep it that way.
Okay.
I'll let the chief muddy the water.
There's nothing changing, Mayor.
Okay.
As of right now, there's those levies that passed were renewal levies, or replacement levies, so,
Nothing new.
that has no, monetary value for us to make a change or a move or anything like that.
Okay.
We're just like everybody else, we have our struggles,
Yeah.
living in that situation,
Yeah.
which I think could be a lot better, but it's not. I think that right now, we're gonna continue to serve the public, as they deserve, and we're gonna continue to work together and do what's best for our residents.
Yeah. And I can tell you, in almost 3 years now as mayor, I've gotten a lot of complaints about a lot of different things, but there's one thing that I've never, ever gotten a complaint about, and that is the service we get from, the fire departments, you know, so. It is the best bargain in government by far, so.
Well, one thing, Mayor, we had a meeting earlier, and I'll just kill this at that on my end. My phone don't ring off the hook, and it hasn't for a long time, and I've been at this a long time. I attribute that to these good people up here.
Amen to that.
And our employees. And, our levies get passed by the good grace of our voters, they analyze, and we are evidently going in the right direction and doing more things right than not. And that would attribute also to the cooperation with you folks and vice versa. But we have our friends to the south here in North Lawrence that we've been in several meetings and discussions with. I think our relationship with them is good as ever. And I'm just glad to be in this position now, because I see a lot of bright things going on down there with them. I don't know, as he said, where the living arrangement is, but we're taking care of the people. And so if we have some bugaboos to work out, which there probably will be, because if I'm not mistaken, we have contract here with you gentlemen, right? So I call it bugaboos, or some hurdles. Well, we'll be talking about that, but we also re-strike things up with you folks. So that said, we'll look forward to the challenges and meet them as they come about.
All right, so if I understand it, the policy is to hire, if we hire somebody, you hire them, is that?
That is up to the departments to do that.
Okay.
I don't have to hire every single person that Canal Fulton hires, and they do not have to hire every single person that I have.
Okay.
That question did come up, and we did get a legal opinion on that under the ORC, there is no written agreement that can force the trustees to hire an employee.
Right.
So,
Okay. All right. So, I think that's all, I have. Once again, I wanna thank you all, and like Mike said, the police department, the relationship we have is
incredible. And as far as annexation goes, I pray every day that I don't covet the land. So the attitude, the philosophy we've had is, if the property owner approaches us about annexation, I'm not out actively soliciting people. And so I think it's important. You know, one of the things that I found out that I didn't know about was the whole Fulton East thing, where when that property was being developed, the developer came to Canal Fulton and asked us to run water lines to the neighborhood, and they agreed with the understanding that the neighborhood would be annexed into the city. And I guess after they built up so many houses, they said it was time to annex into the city. And you had, I believe, 2 people who protested and said they didn't want to be annexed in. When they agreed to buy their house, it wasn't in the city. And so they opposed it, and the city at the time chose not to challenge it. And that's why, like so many people, they believe they live in Canal Fulton. And I think we all do. We feel like it's our community. But so that's why those residents pay 2.5 times the water rate that our residents pay. Because, you know, so that was surprising history to me. I didn't-
My only comment there is that happened then.
Yeah.
They were dealing with situations,
Absolutely.
but we are having to deal with now.
Right.
So some of that stuff does not make sense either, Joe.
Yeah.
You know, been at it a
It
long
just-
time,
yeah.
but we have to move forward from
Yep.
here.
Amen.
So, with the help of good folks and input, we'll continue to move forward in a positive way and constructive way. We'll beat up the idea, but not each other. How's that, Marty? Beat the idea up, but not each other. Annexation's a nasty word. Other items to be brought before the board. Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So do it.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Call the roll.
Mr. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Camp?
Yes.
Mr. Stan?
Yes, thank you all that came. All right,